You know, I don't know if this week should be brought to you by Malox or Rice Krispies. I'm not sure. Oh well. That witty intro. I guess it's time for another action-filled, codependent WWF episode of. I don't think so, but well, how about just Brother Mark Turner syndrome, butterflies in life? You gotta have a sense of humor in this line of work sometimes. If you can't laugh at yourself, and sometimes make light of life situations, you crack up. I'm going to run with it, and then I've got an AA slogan that I want to share with butterflies, and then after with butterflies, and maybe friends of butterflies, siblings of butterflies, children or adults, maybe spouses, maybe butterfly moms and dads, maybe co-workers who know a butterfly might benefit. So, anyway, one of the this actually came from a Unitarian minister in a sermon decades ago, but it just seemed oddly apropos. And story has it a man followed a certain guru who was on the top of a mountain in the Himalayas, and he had followed his teachings all the years and was profoundly moved by them. And the joke goes that he saved up all his money to fly to Nepal and to climb this mountain where his guru had been seated all his life, except when he came down to write books, as the joke goes. And finally he does that long 40-hour flight, and then he does another long, arduous 3-day journey from wherever he flies into, and then he finally struggles to go up, climbs this high, arduous mountain, and finally he runs into the guru and said, "Oh master, I have followed you all my life, and you've had, I've followed all your readings, and I've got all your cassette tapes, and I have to ask you, what is the meaning of life?" And the guru says, "Life is a bubbling fountain." Wait a minute! I traveled all the way from halfway around the world, and you're saying that life is just a bubbling fountain? And all of a sudden you can see tears welling up in the guru, and he says, "You mean life's not a bubbling fountain?" Don't you just hate it when somebody bursts your reality? It's like, let's go hide under a rock and die. Oh well, I think it goes back to that cliche. No, Mark, you're not gonna. No, don't say it. No, I won't say. Just because you made a mistake does not mean you are one. Oh, good night. That's what we were afraid of. Too late. Okay, let's have it. It's all right. But one of my favorite AA slogans, and anybody who's been in Alcoholics Anonymous around Dallas, Texas, can know this one: act, don't react. And essentially what that slogan means, before you let your emotions get the best of you, and then you explode and jump to conclusions and make an equus africanus, a sinus of you and me. Stop and pause and process the information. Is this information really a threat? Should this piece of information really be a threat to my emotions, or is it just a piece of information? And sometimes information can be shocking, and there are certain responses that can come out of hearing possibly bad news, or or even things that you may not necessarily agree with. And I see this in butterflies. It's almost like, and the reason I see it in butterflies is I suffer from it. Sometimes some of the butterflies can mirror some of my own character defects, and that's like, well, now it does. Maybe I can share my experience, strengths, and hope. Now, if you're looking for the we've got cures that can revolutionize your mental butterfly health, call the number on your screen. I'm sorry, folks, you got the wrong YouTube channel. I don't have any magical answers. I'd love to see some. And I think a lot of butterflies would say, yeah, I wish there were. I mean, there's definitely research going on, and we've definitely got advocacy groups, working at them. I hope I'm with the butterflies. I hope we can find some. I don't know if we'll find a cure or not, but at least we'll find new discoveries that make it easier. But I digress. But one thing I've noticed, and I'm a gratefully recovering overreactor, and I'm notorious for flying off the handle if I hear something that's disagreeable. I know for me, it's acting like I'm being attacked. And hey, maybe a lot of us came by it honestly. I mean, a lot of us were stigmatized, bullied, we're told that we were this, that, and the other, and we're never going to amount to anything. Why can't you do your math problems? What's your problem? You know the drill. We've all been there. We've all felt it. And one time I felt it. And I think it's safe to say other butterflies have felt the exact same thing. It's kind of like, okay. So, and my wife is busy driving, but, I mean, it's certainly, hey, lovely wife, have we had these conversations? She's too busy driving, so that's it. Okay, well, there you go. Okay. I appreciate her honesty. So I know that I was afraid of being attacked, even if somebody's trying to be helpful, and even if somebody was trying to come to me kindly. Now, again, my defense mechanisms are pretty understandable. My parents were veritable drill sergeants in some cases. So anyway. But if I hear a piece of information, I'm gonna react violently. Today, I can ask myself, do I have to, or can I just size up the information? Can I go, there's some pretty controversial information here. There's a third rail. There's a heavy hitter. Can I stand back and just really, especially when there's a conflict, can I go back and assess and step back and say, okay, person A said this, person B said this. Let me step back, okay. And sometimes I have this question, what's really going on? It's hard. I don't know where I got to the place that I'm okay with it, but I know there were certainly times in my life that it was hard. I get it. And a lot of the experience I've had with the butterflies is like, and maybe I'm a little too heavy-handed, but sometimes though, even when I have tried to be soft and courteous, say, hey, can we do this? How about this? Can we take a look at this? I mean, there was certainly and I've seen it just kind of cross the board with violent reactions. And there's an old saying that I watch a lot of old cartoons and old-time radio shows, and I've got a friend of mine who's got a little interest in big band music. I mean, he's practically walking Big Ben encyclopedia. And in World War II, obviously because of gas rationing and travel restrictions, they would always ask the question, is this trip really necessary? So if I look at the slogan of act, react, I guess the questions I would pose for butterflies is when a butterfly hears something and reacts violently, could she ask herself, is this trip really necessary? It's a thought. I don't have a magical answer. And are there butterflies who have been there, realized that going there wasn't such a hot idea, and what have they done? I mean, are there butterflies out there? I know there are because I've talked to them. You can say, yeah, and they can talk to other butterflies who might be struggling in that area and say, you know, hey, you know, Sally, I've been there, and I've really had to kind of stop and pause, and I've had to be kind of mindful, and you know, before I let my emotions get to me. I mean, I can definitely give a beautiful thumbs up, way to go endorsement for Brooke TV, Brooke Gonsalves. She's wonderful at this. I learned so much from her. And if I, as an outsider, learning so much, what could her fellow sisters do? But I've noticed that if I give something that a point of disagreement, there's kind of a violent, explosive reaction. Here's just another case in point. I mean, it turned out beautifully, and so I'm going to fictionalize it a bit, and but a while back, I got the notice of where a particular year's annual convention of the benevolent, what was it? The benevolent and sorority order of butterflies was going to hold next year's annual convention, and it was announced it was going to be in Gotham City. Oh wow, great! Oh man, that's fantastic. Well, the official announcement came out, and it wasn't it was the advertised to the Gotham City conference or convention. It was actually in Smallville. And the other thing is, a lot of sisters were really confused and upset, and I had posed the question, you know, that sounds a little odd to me, and a lot of sisters were kind of confused by it. You know, you're saying it's in Gotham City, but it's actually out in Smallville. Now, Smallville's about 40 miles away from Gotham City, and you know, the reality is there's airport transportation. But one of the officers of the Benevolent, Protective, and Sorority Order of Butterflies just tore into me and said I was being inflammatory and using inflammatory rhetoric. I mean, it's like she was being attacked, and I was just instantly posing a question, and I'm a little confused. Now, fortunately, that particular story, a TS mom kind of stepped in, and I think I thanked her, but if I hadn't, a much belated thank you. And she is a wonderful, wonderful TS mom, and I think she knows how to deal with butterflies. And she said, "Hey, and ladies, don't worry about it. We've got a year. We promise not to leave anybody stranded. You know, we'll make sure that everybody's transportation needs are taken care of between Gotham City and Smallville." And Okay. And I think that's where a lot of our... It's hard sometimes to listen. In listening, it's a real tough skill, and boy, have I struggled with it. Woo-hoo-hoo, am I guilty as charged? Oh well. So, I think much can be said about, that saying, look before you leap. I think much can be said about act, don't react. And much as I very rarely get on a soapbox, because everybody kind of knows my higher power, I still like a verse in the Bible that says, my beloved brother, and obviously includes sisters, but it says, my beloved brothers, all of us should be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. It's hard. I get it. I've been there. I've had success. I've had conflict with butterflies that have been like that. And we got through. We did it. They did it. Pat yourselves and to the sisters that have hung tough and worked through it. Give yourself a high five. That's a brave butterfly. And I think the situation is lots of great life lessons that can be learned. And you can still help the butterfly community like you wouldn't believe. So, those are my thoughts and feelings. Always feel free to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and I will talk to you next time.